Hello, fellow space engineers. I think I finally solved the airlock problem. I tried the different airlocks available in the workshop and the tutorials, and they all work fine as long as you use it normally. And by normally I mean going through the whole sequence. So, if you're using the button one or the two doors one or whatever, you will have a button panel right here. You have another button panel in here, and another button panel out there. You would start by initiating the button one. It will open up the door. You go in there. Depressurize button. Everything will work fine. Close this door. Open that one, and you'll be on your way. Now, what I spent the past 5 hours doing though is to solve the problem of changing your mind. And what if you're in here and in the middle of depressurization, you forgot your keys or something, you want to go back in, then the existing airlock solutions would screw up. It will, some of them will leave your doors half open. Maybe they look closed with a slit in there, and you have a problem with the pressurization of the room. So I spend my time trying to fix that. So in this video I'm gonna skip what the primitive airlock is, like this one, for example, just two doors like that. I'll skip that because you already know what the problem with that is. You lose oxygen, the air spits you out and all that. So to make it short, how I solved that mind-changing problem, it's like you go in there, oh shit's not happening, and you wanted to go back in without going out, or without the sequence being completed. I basically solve it by adding an initialization timer block to run before all the function timer block runs. And what that block does, I tell that block to stop all the other timer blocks that's currently counting and running. And I also, instead of using buttons, I use a sensor outside the outer door. So when I go in range of that sensor, it will start the sequence, and when I go out of range of that sensor, it will start the outrange sequence. So let me walk through the timer blocks right now so you have a better idea. I'll also link each timer block's action, the event action if there's any, and also how to group the timer blocks in the description of the YouTube video and the Reddit post that I'm going to do. So let's go through it once. So these 4 timer blocks, ignore their names. I'll rename them better in the YouTube videos, in the Reddit posts. But these 4 activates when I am inside the sensor range. So that means they activate when I'm about to use the airlock to go out, or when I'm outside about to go into the airlock and inside the base. Now these 4 will activate when I'm outside of the sensor range. So that's now, like where I'm standing right now, inside the base, or when I exit the airlock and go far away from the airlock, like leaving the base, right? Now I line out in the counterclockwise direction, so that's a 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the description, I'll call this in 1, in 2, in 3, and in 4. This one would be out 1, out 2, out 3, and out 4. Again, the in and out is denoting the sensor range, whether I'm in the sensor range or out of the sensor range, not when I'm going in or out, because there's no in out in space. There's no up down either, right? Okay, so let's start. So in block one have a delay of 1 second. Action is this one stops all the other timer block timer block group. The group is very specific. The group is in 2, in 3, in 4, along with out 2, out 3, and out 4. So these 6, I grouped them in order for in 1 and out 1 to reset, right? That's the key. The resetting thing is the key, I find, whether in programming on this or in the programming or autopiloting. When your autopilot screws up, you will notice the timer blocks keeps counting and the GPS coordinate won't line up with the first remote control, and it'll start lining up with the second remote control. But anyway, when you get to that, you notice. But this is the key, to have the first timer block reset all the other timer blocks. By reset, I mean to stop whatever the other timer blocks are doing. So again, the action for the first block, first things first, to tell the group of your, say, function timer blocks, so to speak, right? The other timer blocks to stop. The second action, you can already start into, so ignore the names here. Again, first action, we tell the other timer block to stop. Second action, start the second timer block in the sequence that we call into, and at the same moment you can already close the inner doors, because when the sensor detects you in range, it means you're inside the airlock, so you no longer need to have the inner doors open, right? You came from there, so you close that. That's first block. Second block, there's a delay of 3 seconds. The 3 seconds it accounts for the timing for the inner door to fully close, right? I bet it's different for different doors. If you use the little door, it's probably 1 second. But I use 3 seconds just to be safe, to make sure that the inner doors are fully closed. And the action would be, now since the airlock is sealed, right, we can begin depressurization of the room. So this one is depressurize on. Yeah. So to tell the vent to depressurize the room. The second action is to tell the inner doors to power off, right? Because in the previous timer you close them, and in this timer you can turn the power off. The purpose of this is to prevent you from backing out and opening the door and having oxygen gush into the airlock. So once the depressurization starts, you're trapped. You can't open any doors. That's the idea. The third action is to start the next block. We call it in 3. Right. Now next block, this one, I give it a 3 second delay. This time, delay is for the full depressurization of your room. So for a bigger room, your in 3 would be longer, so you can make it 10 seconds, you know, whatever, 20 seconds, depends how big your airlock is. But for my airlock, it's only takes 3 seconds, so I make it 3 seconds. The action of this one would be to power on the outer door, right? Because the depressurization is complete. Now you can power on the outer door. So previously, right before this, the outer door is actually power off, right? And it makes sense because when you're inside your base or when the room is pressurized, you never want anybody to be able to open that outermost door and depressurize the airlock in your base, right? So this is the time you can tell the outer door to power on, and then the next action would be to run in 4, right? Now in 4 we don't need a delay there, so 1 second. In 4 there's only one action, that is to tell the outer door that just powered up previously to open, right? Because now you're sure the entire airlock is depressurized and you can open it and be on your way. Now that's half of it, right? And then you go, oh no, like what if I just left my base and now I got a door open, right? Don't worry about that. That will be taken care of when you're outside of the sensor range, right? When you actually leave your base, right? Or when you actually came in here. So start the other group. The other 4 blocks would be the out blocks. I call them out blocks. So when you're out of sensor range, what happens? First block, we call it out 1 second delay. The action, very similar, but in reverse. Now first action again is to tell all the other blocks to stop. Very important, right? Second action is to start the next block. And then the third action is to tell the outer door to close. Now remember, the outer door still has power when you left your base, right? It can't close, so tell it to close, right? So that takes care of that problem, right? When you leave your base, you don't want to leave the door open, right? That's done. Now, second block of the out series, you give it 3 seconds, right? This time is to make sure that the outer door has enough time to close fully, right? Very similar, right? The action would be to pressurize the room, right? So this one is depressurize off. Tell the room to pressurize because now it's sealed, right? And since the room is sealed and you are inside, you can tell the outer door to power off, okay? Second action. Third action is to start the next block. Out 3, you give it 3 seconds. Because my airlock is small, it only takes 3 seconds to fully pressurize. For bigger airlocks, again, you can turn this number up. The action in there is to turn the power of the inner doors on. Okay? And start the next block. The next block, it's only 1 second. And after you power on the inner doors, you can now open them. So I tell the inner doors to open. So that's it. That's all the action. Now, and then the sensor outside the door, you know, I set up the range accordingly to your liking, like where you like the sensor to be on, where you like the sensor to consider you to be using it, you know, after you leave, or whether you're gonna, after you get out the door, you're gonna turn right or turn left, you know, how far you want it to activate or deactivate, what I try to do with my range is, you know, I set up the range so that I can't touch the door. Like the door doesn't glow yellow, I can't touch the door, you know, when I'm considered outside of the range, right? So if the sensor detects me as outside of the range yet I can touch the door, that would be bad, right? So that's that's my consideration. The action for the sensor is very simple. Once you set everything, the timer blocks up, the action for the sensor is just, you know, when you're in range, start the in one, and when you're out range, start the out one. Okay, those are only two actions. The air vents itself has no action. It has no action. There's no action. Okay, I actually try to cheat a little bit. I try to set up, you know, the door close and open with these and power on, off, whatever. It actually screws it up. So just no action. Just make everything pure and simple. All handled by timer blocks, and you're fine. Step by step. Right. So that's it. That's all the action you need for a proper airlock. Now that you know that's done, I can tell you my considerations, and I'll end the video. The reason why I went through all that, and why I think, you know, the existing solutions doesn't solve my problems, because I have a few requirements, right? My first requirement is that I want to leave all the doors in my base open with oxygen. So if the entire base is pressurized, and the only place that can depressurize my base are the outer doors, I would like to leave the inner doors all open, just for user friendliness. Like I don't want to go upstairs, you know. I don't want to, oh my god, like I don't want to go upstairs and press F, blah blah blah, go up there, press F again, come in here, oh my god, I gotta press F again, because, you know, I gotta remember everything. Oh my god, I go into here, I gotta F again, I gotta close, I go out again, I press F again. It's crazy, you know, the amount of time we play this game. Like I can't be bothered with that. Like what if I have an airlock with 10 doors, right? It's just, you can't, you know, close every door and just, oh my god, one of them is not closed, and it depressurizes your room and shoots you out into space or whatever, right? So that's my first consideration, right? To have all doors that you know, with adjoining pressurized room open as default. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I can't be bothered to press buttons. Like I can't come in here, oh F, you know, wait, oh open, go in there, oh which one was it, you know, 1 or 4, oh my god, I forgot, you know. You gotta check K and everything. It's crazy, right? So I can't do that. That's the second thing. And the third thing, I think I don't have a third thing. No, I don't. The third thing is I want it to be sensor driven. Like I want the system to be intelligent enough so that I just walk up to the door, right, and it does all that. Like I don't want to be bothered with buttons. So I set up the sensor. So again, let me walk through. Oh my god, oxygen energy. Let me recharge. Okay, done. Let me walk through the normal procedure once, and then I'll try to break it, and then I'll end the video. All right. So normally, right, this is what's gonna happen. You come into here, sensor picks you up, closes them doors, depressurize the room, open the door for you. Right. See you later, Commander. Right, and you go out. Turn on jetpack. Get out of sensor range. The door closes. Repressurize the room. After that's done, the inner door is open, right? For your buddies, right? Like I'm playing by myself, but what if your buddies in your base, right? You know, you can already see the problem, right? Like one's trying to go in, one's trying to go out, right? That's another consideration. That's like, I had to think about all these stuff, right, when doing it, right? So okay, and then you get into sensor range. Right? So you come home, get into sensor range. What happens? Oh, it senses you. Depressurize the room. Can you open it? No, I can't open it. Damn it. Why? Because it's not finished. Now when it's finished, it's supposed to open, but it didn't because I pressed F there to test it, right? So it won't. But anyway, now you know. Now you can, because before it didn't have power. Now it does. So you go in. All right. You come home, pass the sensor range. It senses that you're in there. It starts to pressurize the room. Oh, can you go in? No, you can't, right? Let's see, until it's fully pressurized. Then it opens the door. Welcome home, Commander, right? But this one doesn't open because I spammed it like crazy, but you know that's what it's supposed to do. It opens. Okay. Now I'll try to break it, and that's the true beauty of why I spent so much time doing this, right? And all the while, remember, the only trick you need to implement in whatever airlocks that you design is to have the first block to tell, you know, to stop all the other blocks' action. That's the main thing. As long as you remember that, it'll be gold, right? Now I'll try to break it. Look, it's amazing. I love it. Look. Right, sorry about that. Something happened to my frame rate. I don't know why, but okay. Now I'll try to break the system, right? It's amazing. Look. Oh, you go in there. Oh, trying to get in the door. I want to go. See, it won't, right? Because the power is not on, right? And then you start depressurizing. Oh, I actually I want to go back in. I forgot my keys, right? It's like, oh, but you can't, right? Because you can't see now. It senses that you want your keys back, so it starts pressurizing the room again, and it opens the door for you. You go, oh, you gotta go get your keys, and then you got your keys, and then you can come back and you try to gun the door again. It won't. Right? Because you see this? I'm walking in and out of the sensor range, right? There's nothing wrong because there's a built-in delay, right? Well, see, and you can open the inner doors and all that, right? See, right? And then you go in the sensor and you come out again. You go in again. There's nothing wrong, right? Go in. You're in the sensor range. You want to go out. It senses, depressurize, and then after depressurization, it should open that door. But it doesn't because it's spammed too much, right? But anyway, it got power, so you can do it by yourself. And then closes it. You don't even have to close it. Actually, you just walk in, and it'll close. And then oh no! But I actually want to go out again. You can't go out. Oh, you can go out. You notice it screw up a little bit. The light turned yellow because there's a slit in the door, right? But it's fine. Like it doesn't, like you're not losing oxygen, right? It's not spitting you out or anything. You close it again. You open it again. You try to go into your base again. It senses that it closes that door, and then you try to gun for the door again. And it's turned green. It won't because the power is off, right? But sense that you're in the sensor range, so it starts to depressurize again. You see how fast that reacts. Right? But once that's done, it's gonna open that door, but it won't because I spammed it again, right? But it got power, so I can open it. You can try to go in here, try to gun it. Oh, I gotta go upstairs. I gotta go to the toilet, right? But it won't let you. It's the power, right? Because the room is depressurized. It won't let you. But now it's pressurized. Can you go? Let me go. Okay, now you can go, right? And you can go in here. You can go in here. See what I mean by trying to break it? Because I want to spam doors or whatever I can and screw up the sensors or however I can to try to see if I leak oxygen, if I can actually make the system lose oxygen, you know, by shooting the LC. I bet I lost a little bit of oxygen there by opening the door like that. I'm not sure, but it break it. Since I'm in, let me out once. Oh, SES is pressurizing. I step into the sensor range, and then see, and then it knows, and let's go, and then depressurize. Try to go back in. Oh, turns green. Oh, I try to go out again. See, it won't. See, you're trapped no matter what. As long as this is working, you're trapped. So you can't, so you won't lose oxygen. See, I go in and out, you know, crazy. In and out. Oh, now it opens magically. Why? Because it's depressurized, so you don't get that spitting you out into space crap. Isn't that cool? Isn't that beautiful? I think it's beautiful. Alright, man. See you guys later. I'll write this up. Cheers.